Hi everyone, thanks for coming back for part 2. Before I continue with this table, I just wanted to go back for a minute and just talk about the signs in the heavens a little bit more. And I just wanted to show you over here where it's talking about the moon and Aldebaran being close together on it says over here July 28th or the 29th. It's showing over here the Pleiades. And I just wanted to show you this picture just in case you're not familiar of how this all looks in the constellation Taurus. You have Aldebaran over here, which represents the eye of Taurus, and then you have the Pleiades, which is a cluster of stars, and it's actually more than 7 stars, but because you can usually only see about 7 visibly with the naked eye, it's known as the 7 stars, and they represent the 7 churches. And you can see how it's like they're tucked away in the heart of the bull. Then you have the eye of the bull, which is Aldebaran, which I talked about. It's called the Alpha Tav in astronomy, is the name of the star. And then on one of these, I'm not sure which of the 2 horns, but at the very tip of the horn there's a star called Elnath, which means wounded one, which of course represents Christ. And this star is actually shared with the constellation Aries, which is the ram, which of course represents the Passover when the Messiah was slain, so he's the wounded one. And so the star Elnath, it used to be part of that constellation, but now it's considered to be part of Taurus, and it's right at the tip of one of the horns. I'm not sure which one of the 2 it is, but it's a small star, so I'm thinking it's this one. And then you have the Pleiades, which represent the 7 churches in the heart of the bull, and the bull looks like he's charging. And then you have, over here, you have Orion the Hunter, which is also visible starting on July 26, which is today. And it talks about these constellations in the book of Job. I just wanted to point that out. In Job 38:31, it says, "Canst thou bind the sweet influences of Pleiades, or loose the bands of Orion?" And so it's talking about these 3 stars over here, which make up the bands of Orion, which is represented as a hunter. And then Taurus is over here, which represents Christ. And I'm not sure if Orion represents Christ, but just the way it's formatted, it could be representing the Antichrist as well. But over here you have the Pleiades, which is the cluster of stars that's in the heart of the bull. And then Aldebaran is the eye of the bull, and it's the brightest star, and it's close with the moon on the 28th. So I just wanted to point that out. I also wanted to point out the significance of the August 4th date, and why I thought it would be important to search that in the Bible code. And for one thing, it's Obama's birthday, which his birthday sometimes happens to fall on Tish B'Av, which is the 9th of Av, and sometimes it happens to fall on Tu B'Av, apparently, because I was just watching a video by Renee Moses where she had said that it was on Tu B'Av where the American flag actually fell while they were singing. I believe it was the Star-Spangled Banner, and the flag fell during the Summer Olympics, just as it was saying the part of the song where it says our flag was still there, and then that's when the flag actually fell. So that's an important date. I don't know if that was a sign, but it happens to be Obama's birthday. Sometimes it falls on Tu B'Av, which is an important feast day, and sometimes it falls on the 9th of Av, which is also an important time when both temples were destroyed on the 9th of Av. So all these events are coming up in August, and then, like I had said in the signs in the heavens, it's on August 4th when you see Venus right at the thigh of Leo, and then there's an occultation the next day on the 5th and 6th with the moon. You see them close together right here, which reminds me there's another sign, which is Jupiter being close to the moon, which is the occultation that I was just talking about. But it mentions that here as well. It talks about the moon and Jupiter being close together, and you can see them here, and that just kind of reminds me of the Islam sign where you have the crescent moon, because the moon will be at the stage, at the crescent moon stage, when Jupiter is really close to the moon, which Jupiter, although it represents God and Venus represents Jesus, there's also a negative aspect. Jupiter is also, it's the same name as Zeus. It represents Zeus, and in Latin he's called Jupiter, and that's what the planet is named after, Zeus, and which can also represent Satan or the Antichrist as well, just as Venus represents Christ, but it can also represent the Antichrist as well. So you have that symbolism right there taking place also. So I just wanted to point out some more of those signs before I get back into the Bible code. And another thing I wanted to point out is another reason why this time frame, of course I'm not trying to set any dates, but this is an important time frame, because when you look at the Hebrew calendar, and you know, in trying to determine the true Pentecost, which we've talked about before, which Passover occurred on the eve of Passover occurred on the 22nd of April. So if you go over here, and if you calculate this from the 22nd of April, you see that it comes to July 30th. And then if you calculate it from the 24th of April, you'll see that it comes to August 1, which if you look on the calendar, the 24th would be the morning after the Sabbath, which was the very first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread. But because it was the very first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, I think it may be that the second Sabbath was the one that should have been used, and then the morrow after that would be May 1st, which was actually the Greek Orthodox Easter. And if you calculate it from that date, it takes you to August 8th, which, like I had mentioned before, that's like 4 eighths when you consider the fact that August is 8th month and 2016 is 8 plus 8. That's like 4 eighths. So any time between that time frame might be the true count to Pentecost, of course, unless God was using a different calendar. We don't know if this is the correct calendar. This is according to the Hillel calendar, which is used in Israel, and the dates that they've been going by, but there's other calendars that may be more accurate. So we don't know the exact date, and we don't know if it's going to occur after the 50 days of Pentecost, but it's a very strong possibility. So it's an important time to be watching, but I just want to make it clear that I'm not trying to set any specific dates for the rapture. This is just a very high watch time that we need to be watching. And so I just wanted to go over this table real quick and just at least get this table out of the way. I have some more August tables, but I just wanted to go over this one. And I had started with, I believe it was this one when I cut off at the last video, and I had just gone over the word Iran here in the blue, and then the word new is coming over here in the pink, the letters N, E, W, and then over here is the word order in the bluish purple with the letters O, R, D, E, R. You see August over here in the plain text, which is part of the word Caesar Augustus. And then you have the word world here in the lavender. You have the word 3 here in the dark green, and it looks like it's sharing the R in Syria. So you have the letters T, H, R, E, E, and then you have Syria in the light green. And then the only other table that I did, the only other terms that I put in anti, God, and then the rest of these terms we already went over. So you see God over here in the light green with the letters G, O, D, and then anti is coming up. Okay, it's here in the light blue, the letters A, N, T, I. And so I guess since I have a little bit of time left, I'm going to try to read over this matrix real quick. And it's in Luke 175 through 2:2. And it says, in holiness and righteousness before him all our days. Yea, and thou, child, shalt be called the prophet of the Most High, for thou shalt go before the face of the Lord to make ready his ways, to give knowledge of salvation unto his people in the remission of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, whereby the dayspring from on high shall visit us, to shine upon them that sit in darkness and the shadow of death, to guide our feet in the way of peace. And the child grew and waxed strong in spirit, and was in the deserts till the day of his showing unto Israel. Now it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be enrolled. This was the first enrollment made when Quirinius was governor of Syria. And of course this was a prototype of the New World Order that was to come, the first census that was ever taken. And this, of course, is talking about John the Baptist. This was the angel prophesying about the birth of John the Baptist. But, of course, over here where it's talking about that he's going to give knowledge of salvation unto his people. Of course, this is talking about the Messiah, Jesus, which means salvation in the Hebrew. And where it's talking over here about the dayspring from on high shall visit us, is talking about the Messiah being born, which the dayspring would be the morning star or Venus. And like I had showed you, that's exactly when Venus is going to be in the thigh of Leo, according to the planetarium here. So you can see Venus right at the thigh of Leo. And I'm getting a little short on time, but I finished going over the table and I can't really think of anything else to say in this video. So if I have anything else, I'll continue with another video. So thank you so much for watching, and God bless you all.